I think we will start because anyways, if it's too early for some people to join, they can see live later or they can see the recording. So hello everyone, welcome to the International Women's Day session hosted by Simple Geek Notes. International Women's Day is a global day celebrating social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women all over the world. The day has occurred over a century, with the first IWD gathering in 1911, supported by over a million people. To honor this day in 2021, we have three very special guests with us. Shuchita, who did her engineering from University of Auckland in 2012, and now she's Cloud Solutions Architect at Microsoft. Praveena arrived in Melbourne in 2017 and is presently working as a SAP consultant at NAB. And Nidhi, who came to Sydney in 2015 and is employed at Trobe in system administration role. Thanks guys for joining this session and taking out some time of your day and trying to help these people who are all looking. So our target audience is a mixed crowd of students, uni students who are trying to get their first jobs in Australia, as well as females or anybody like who is trying to join back IT, and again it's their first job in Australia. So I have known you guys from quite some time now, and hearing your stories, your struggles to reach where you are today is an inspiration which I thought all of us can benefit from. So let's start, Suchita, from you. You did your engineering from University of Auckland in 2012. So how did you get your first internship? How did you get that?
Yep. Thanks for that intro, Isha. Yes, I did my engineering from University of Auckland. That's in New Zealand, and I guess starting to look out for my first internship was definitely very daunting. So stepping out into the market after you're just in university studying in a classroom, and then actually going out and looking for a job. Now, the system, I think it's the same in Australia and New Zealand, works that you have to go out and apply for jobs yourself. So there's hardly any campus recruitment. You need to go and see what's open, you need to see what opportunities are there and go and apply. Now, I think the first big thing for me was to make sure my CV was up to date. And I had to get my CV reviewed, by some of the university counselors to make sure, it's on point. It's talking about all the technical skills and projects I worked on and, emphasizing on the key skills. So that was a big thing that was important. Even then, I think when I was applying, so I applied for at least 30 to 40 internships. So just to get the one I needed. And at that point it was a minimum wage engineering internship, but honestly, it took a long time. And that's not because there wasn't enough jobs, but it's because there's just so much competition, right? Like you need to be able to prove yourself, you need to go out in the market and do that. And I got a job with a company called Zephyr, and now they're called Metatronic. So they made electronic medical equipment. So it was very exciting. But when I started that job as well, it was scary, challenging. I still remember my first day. I went in and I'm just so clueless. I'm not sure what to expect, right, in a work life. Like I was like maybe 19, still studying in uni, not sure what was going on. So a big thing for me that I learned was not to be scared to ask for help. I was constantly asking my seniors, I was constantly asking my peers just to get to know everyone, the company as much as I can, and start learning as much as I could. So yeah, that was me.
So how, like, I mean, like internship, I believe is called internship, but the interview process is
Oh yes,
actually
yes,
quite,
yes.
because like you said you were 19 and some of the uni students are of similar age. So how many interviews or how much it took you to get
Yeah.
that one job?
So as I said, so I did apply for 30 to 40, right? And I think at least I got called for 20 of them. But for the job I did get, so there was 3 stages of interview just for an internship. And it wasn't just a chit chat interview. One of them was a fully technical interview as well. So it starts off obviously, how well you can talk and what do you know about your material. And the big thing they're mostly looking for is how much you can learn. So if they know that it's okay, she doesn't have much technical knowledge, she's still a student, but she's willing to learn, so they're usually happy with that. Now,
Okay, so they did see that thing
yeah,
in you that you are.
for sure. especially if it's an internship, they want to know that you can learn, right? You're still learning anyways. And but in saying that, though, there was a technical interview. I was asked quite a few technical questions related to, programming and electronics that I was doing at the time. And it's scary. There's like 3 4 people in the room asking you these questions and you're on the spot. But honestly, you tell them your thought process, you tell them what you're thinking. Even if you don't get to the right answer, they want to know what you're thinking, and if you
Yeah.
can, get there with research. So very scary, but yes, it was like, yeah. And after that stage, there was a third stage with the actual manager, just to see, are you a good fit for the team and so on. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So internship not just prepared you for getting that local reference or something, but it actually also prepared you for the job which you will be doing. Like you said that it was scary, but you learned to
Yes.
ask for help.
For
So
sure, for sure. I think just being able to reach out and having that confidence that you can say, hey, actually, I don't understand this, or hey, I don't remember this concept. Like, where can I look or where can I learn? So they're happy with that. But you
yeah,
have to put in a lot of effort. I used to come home and study in my free time, trying to keep up and everything as well.
yeah, that's true, and that's insightful actually for
Yeah.
people who are looking to do internship. They don't know what to expect, what will happen. So that's
Right.
great. Praveena, you came to Melbourne in December 2017. And before that, you were working in Accenture India. And when
Yeah.
you came here, you came here with a 4-year-old daughter, if I remember. So, how was it for you? How was Australia for you? Do you remember that feeling?
Yes, yes, of course, yes. Uh, yeah, thank you for your warm welcome, Isha. And I'm also very excited to meet you all and share my experience. So,
Yeah.
when we migrated to Melbourne, Australia, due to my husband's work, so I was working in India around a decade with companies like Accenture and ADP. And it was a tough decision whether to continue a job there or migrate. So I felt family was more important and came here leaving my job with a 4 years old daughter. So since then we was new for us, we took some time to settle down first, and we had to explore when we arrived here regarding the schools, jobs and socialization and etc. So it is sometimes it is very hard to find a friends here actually.
Yeah.
So we started going to an Indian events and attending festivals nearby temples. So what happened, like staying home alone with me and my daughter after my husband's left for the job, and it was like a little bit of feeling loneliness. And I used to connect with the friends back to India and spend some time with an video calls. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's true. Even I felt that. So, leaving friends and family, it is exciting to come to a different country, but when you actually are here, that loneliness slowly creeps in, and we get homesick and we start missing. But that's the right thing you did. You started going out, and you didn't let those feelings sink in. Um Nidhi, if what about you? You came to Sydney in 2015. So did you also feel a bit isolated, or how was for it for you?
Thank you, Isha, for giving us this opportunity to actually share our experiences, which might be helpful for the other fellow people trying to get into the workforce, getting back in Australia to get where they want to. And yes, talking about loneliness, yes, I did feel the same when I initially came to Sydney. And then I started applying for jobs because in India I was working in project management at CL. And then I started applying for jobs here, and I did not even have a call for, say, like I used to apply for 10, 15, or as many as I can every day, but I never even had a call. Every time I would receive an email, unfortunately not this time. So I was getting really I was feeling lonely, and I was feeling, oh, I'm not good enough. In Australia, it's hard. I can't get a job in here. And then I started reaching, like, initially you don't think like talking about these things to your friends and your family, saying that I'm actually looking for work but not getting anything concrete, so I'm feeling that I'm good for nothing, or you feel professionally I'm gone, I can't work anymore. So that is the fight that you need to win, and then accept the fact that there's nothing wrong. It's normal, it's possible. When you get onto another country and looking for work, trying to understand how to get your foot into the door, it's really okay to talk to people and just say that, yes, I'm not being successful in this. And then when I started talking to my family and my sisters especially, saying that, oh, financially and professionally I'm not growing. And then my sister told me, because she used to live in Melbourne, and she told me, start going out, don't stay at home, don't keep applying for the jobs until you feel you're 100% ready for it. You're just applying for jobs, but how do you evaluate yourself fitting into that particular role? So she told me to first work on myself, improve on myself. Don't just feel that, okay, once I get a call, I'll prepare for this, that, blah, blah. No, first actually prepare for your personality to get a job here. Not maybe the skills, but actually to have that mindset, to have that confidence, to actually understand how would you interact with people in your organization. So start building up that thing first, and then start looking for work. So at the moment, you don't need to feel helpless or being lonely or being not good enough, because at the moment you are not working on yourself at all. So, and then I started going out to neighborhood centers and getting out, and that's how if you and then I started getting into different things that I can explain later.
So like what were those? So when you used to go to neighborhood community centers, so did you do something there, or you just what did chit chat with people? How was it?
Initially, it started up with like initial chit chat, and then I got to know, okay, some of the girls go to AMEP. It's a migrant program for English language. I thought I don't need English, but then I thought, okay, but I knew I need to get somewhere. I need to go somewhere. And then I started going out, and then I started meeting like the educators, the people who were running that program there. And then I got to know that for the professionals who used to work in their previous country, they had some training programs like refreshers to make them understand how to get your foot into the door, how to get your resume, how to get key selection criteria, because things are not same as like my previous country, because key selection criteria is totally a new thing. A cover letter is a totally a new thing here, which does not exist back in India. In India, it was just the resume, but here networking works. And then you need to review your resume, your cover letter, your key selection criteria, and networking really helps in terms of mental strength, as well as your resume build-up and everything. So there I started doing, I think it was 2 months or something. They gave me an opportunity for that and then they also placed me for 2 weeks of internship. And then I had the ability to actually get my referees, which is really important here, and to some mentors to help me with my resume and cover letters and mock interviews and all. So AMEP is the program, and I think Isha, you can list down the exact details if somebody wants to reach out. Pretty sure they are in every city. I can't say about the town, but yeah, and you can go to your council as well to just check what programs they have.
So you are saying that you just went out and then you got to know about this program, and although they say it's for English, but it actually helped you to fit in, to understand what's going on in Australia,
Yeah,
what are people looking for, and they also
yeah,
gave you an opportunity. So it was more than English, it's
Yeah, on top of English course, because in terms of like for me, they evaluated your English is fine, so we had something more for you if you want to get in. And then
Okay.
they said, okay, it's workplace training, it's for professionals. And I said, okay, yes. And then I had the internship. And yes, I would say neighborhood centers. Exactly, if you would try to Google neighborhood centers, you should be able to find something in your area or in your council. That is one thing as well.
Okay, that's great. So then you came to Ballarat in December 2015. That same year, you moved to Ballarat, Victoria. So how did you get your first job there?
In terms of the first job, after having that experience and confidence from the AMEP, and but then in Ballarat as well, I looked out for neighborhood centers, and then I started like going there, and there was a mentor. So she used to help people with resume and all, and then she said, okay, you look pretty skilled in this. So I started helping other people with
Okay.
to be able to prepare. And then I got a bit better. And then I got that understanding that if I have to get in a job, because in Ballarat, IT wasn't there. So I thought, okay, let's just get started with anything that I can get in. And then I looked for customer service jobs. And I got my first job after, I don't know, number of applications. And then I started building up a bit of rapport with the consultants. So the consultancy jobs, I would call them, I would ask them, okay, can you give me a feedback on my resume or something, or is there anything that I'm lacking? And then I got told that, okay, you don't have a local experience and that counts. So then I started putting my workplace training that I did with AMEP in a bit more elaborate in my resume and cover letter. And also I elaborated more about the internship, 2 weeks internship that I did, and focusing on my referees. So normally the referees are given later, but I started putting them in my resume just to become a highlight that, okay, yes, I've done something in Australia, and I have some referees who can confirm that, yes, I'm a good fit. And then every job that I would apply, I would call people just to take a feedback or just to get my name into their mind, so that when they go through the application, they would say, oh yeah, this person called me, this person looks pretty confident on the call. So I try to build a bit of rapport and introduce myself a bit that, yes, if you just give me a call, I'm worth having to be interviewed. So that really helped me. And then I got my first one.
I what I feel is that you said you got feedback, but isn't like normally recruiters don't entertain. Does it like they were nice to you, or they were like some, I mean, like how did it happen? You used to.
It doesn't happen on every call. Most of the calls, they would say, oh, there were some better applicants. But like say, if you are applying again and again, and then they feel that you have that zeal to actually be helped. So it depends on your efforts.
So you
That is
really need
kind
to
of,
dig in, you really need to.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah, I feel that when we are searching job, we need to keep our self-respect aside. We have a lot of self-respect or ego, and like they are mixed. I think for me, it's a very mixed topic, but we need to keep that aside, and we need to be like literally asking people to help us, not in terms of help, but trying to figure out ourselves.
I would say the best explanation would be to be honest. To be honest how much you want that, and how much you actually want to work on yourself and improve, to actually not just pray for that job to come to you, but actually be 100% ready and say, if somebody has a conversation with me, I'm 100% going to fit into this. And just with introducing your small things, like not actually telling what you mean, but yeah, I have a very good, like I'm detailed and I pay attention to every single thing. Like just introduce your actual skills in like tiny sentences, so that makes the recruiters feel that, she is going to do everything she's 100% dedicated to it. So when that recruiters once, twice, thrice, you call that person, and I won't say that it's a thing of self-respect or anything. It's about how dedicated you are, how passionate you are, how honest you are, and how ready you are to work on yourself or to get an understanding what can be done better.
Yes.
So just the positive mindset with honesty and just to improve your own self better and better.
Yeah, that's true. It's about the dedication. Praveena, what about you? So once you've settled your family and kid, uh, how did you start your job search here?
Yeah. Actually, fortunately or unfortunately, these things went for 1.5 years, after which we got a PR. And with this number of calls increased and went on for the interviews till the HR rounds. And however, like on relative merit with the other candidates, so recruiters always prefer a local experience profiles. So it was very disappointing at that time for me. So like however, I was determined not to lose and bank on my confidence and skills to crack these interviews. Yeah.
So
So
1.5 years you were actually trying to, you didn't give up. You were like applying to jobs in SAP and
yeah.
yeah, so like how was it? Were you like sure that you want to be come to SAP, or you were like started thinking to do something else as well?
No, actually, I want to be in SAP field only. So, because of that confidence level, the previous experience and all this confidence levels bring me to like to get the job actually. So, like in the 1.5 years, I have faced lot of different issues, and apart from the job, other things as well. So, which makes me stronger and confident.
Okay, so if I remember, you gave 25 interviews, not the job, but 25 interviews, but it's all ended with lack of local experience. Yeah,
Yes.
that's
To
tough, you
answer
know.
that directly, whenever the interviewer used to say that, sorry, you don't have local experience, then I used to ask them, if you give an opportunity, okay, then I will get a local experience. Without giving opportunity, how can I get a local experience? I asked this many of the interviewers. The finally, for one of these company has accepted, yes, I accept yours thing, and they have offered me a job. Yeah.
Okay. So earlier you were saying that you had to do some changes to build up your confidence. So what were those? Like how you build up your...
Yes, actually, I understood that working culture taking some time of my working friends, and I had during this time, and I had to change my wardrobe first, so which makes us more confident. Okay, and I used to attend interviews with formals I have, and I did some shopping to get a better one, and helped me more confident during and discussing about all these things. And it like first thing we have to present ourselves to the
Professionally, yeah.
professionally, and we have to look good first thing. So I started making myself better, looking better, so that it will give more confidence from the outside and in inner side, so that whatever we face we can face with the confidently.
Yeah, this is something I felt about myself also. So I don't I don't like to get ready for anybody else. I mean, like we are all married, we are with kids, we are not out there to date or something. It's just for us, for ourselves. Um, for me also personally, I feel that there are often days when I don't like to do anything, but when I do on those days, I feel I'm more confident, even in the meetings, putting out my views, or I'm a bit more of myself. Yeah, so that change, that helps. You are more approachable. If you look professional, more approachable, and it brings your confidence up.
With the same confidence, like I have attended some interviews, like around 25 interviews, and one of these interviewer from the method recruitment consultancy. So after my final face-to-face discussion, it was confident, and that was the best candidate they have decided. and she gave me some interview tips and interested to send my profile to their client actually. So I have cleared the client in technical interview, and they were asking some questions of local experience. So with my confidence, I have explained them in a better way, and I have presented myself with a better way, like even though I don't have a local experience, so what I can bring in for the job. And that
Okay.
was the fetching move actually, I can say. And they have put me on hold for a couple of weeks. So at the time I was like confident, yes, I can get that one anyhow, if it is not this one, the other one. So I never lose that confidence level. And then they confirmed me later after a few weeks, and through the consulting company. And this is how I landed like my first job after six
Wow.
months for the
It's
six.
incredible. Like
Yeah.
after like 1.5 years, you finally got the first job in Australia, even though it was a contract.
Yeah.
And yeah, you were just looking for the first job, right?
Yeah, and
Yes.
many people advised me like, if you get a contract, why you are accepting contract? Why can't you go for the permanent? So I just told them like, money is not a matter for me, and even with the if it's less salary, I'm okay to work because I need a experience. First thing is experience. Even six
Yes.
months, if I get, I did with a lot of confidence. I got a job with that 6 months experience. I can go grow a much better than, like I can get a permanent job later on. So I
Yes.
felt the same thing, and even everybody was like advised me not to join, but I did it. And I can say that right now I'm here because of that experience, 6 months
Yes.
experience.
So
Yeah.
that was when was that? Um,
In the last year, when lockdown has started, I got an offer, and
okay.
everybody was at home. I used to travel, and it was a horrible situation. Like again, starting completely, it was new for me here. And facing the office culture is quite different comparing to our India actually. And like leaving my kid at home, and daily traveling to city, it was a challenging thing. I learned a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so it was your first job was not just work. You actually
Yes.
learned how to live in Australia as a working woman.
So we want to do a multitask, taking care of kid at home, leaving
I can
them,
understand.
and
Yes.
early morning catching a bus, and after coming back again doing a household work, supporting a family. That is a quite different. So we have to do a multitask. As women, we are doing right now actually.
That's great. Um, so even with local references, job search could be tricky. Nidhi, I'll come back to you. What did you do to, like, okay, you have the local references, but then how did you first approach your job role for the, yeah,
Are you talking about the very first job, which was in customer
yeah,
service or the IT?
yeah, like well, I think um, any time, like you say that you call to recruiters, and what else did you do? I think even for customer service or for your current system administration role.
The first thing I would suggest that people in that situation feel that, oh, I just want something. Can something just help me to just get it? And once I get it, then I will prove myself. But it's the other way. You have to prove yourself initially that you have that can-do attitude, that you can do anything that comes across. You have to show that confidence, and you have to stand out from the other applicants. So, and that is before you get hired. So in my journey, I understood that this is not something that I would explain or showcase myself after I get hired. This is something that I have to do before I get hired, so that I stand out from among the other applicants. I have that can-do attitude, because when somebody's hiring you, then they know that you haven't done that particular job previously. Because if you would have done that job previously, you would not apply for it. So I got that understanding that they just want my can-do attitude. not depending on anything. So I stopped depending on anything. Like somebody will get me this. I just, and polishing myself to just show that how I have that can do attitude, how, like, even if I don't know something, I'm a resourceful person, I can research. So that zeal I started showing. Even after the follow back calls, I would make calls and just show them through my attitude that yes, just call me, I am the one that you're looking at. I'm gonna be the one employee that you want to interview. I'm the one. So I just
Yeah,
started.
but to get that confidence, like, and to apply for that role, how did you prepare yourself?
Uh, I would search for the jobs, like in, because after that customer service, my main goal was to get into IT. And then I did a bit of research. Okay, what kind of domain, what kind of job am I looking for? So then I figured out that if I have to be, like, because I wanted a job within Ballarat, no commute, and other things that depends on like your family structure, your personality, what kind of work you want to do. So then I realized that, okay, in Ballarat, I can have an IT admin job, which is like every organization needs 1 or 2 person. And then for that job, I have to be that one person who can do from zero to the server level admin. Because in small organizations, you would need just one person who knows kind of like everything. So I tried to be that person who knows a bits of different things, so that every time if there's a big issue or a small issue, I can just research and find out how to fix that. Because you might not know the exact commands how to do that particular thing, but if you know, okay, how to get into that, that is what a recruiter is looking at. So I did a lot of research about what domain I want, what work I want. Then I started going through the resumes and, okay, in this kind of a job, what is written in the resume? They have Active Directory experience, they have Office 365 experience, the terms and the things. And it would take me like 2 days to just, I would start with the term, and then within that term, I became honest that, okay, I don't know anything, zero. Because the things that I'd done in my degree, that was 10 years ago. So I just became honest with myself, and I told myself, I'm not going to beg, I'm not going to plead, I'm not going to depend on anybody else. It's just me and the skill. So the whole days I would just study. Like I've never studied that much in my whole life, even in my degree. So I would go to the basics so that I don't have to just write it or cram it or give it in an interview. I have to solve this problem. So if I don't know what's inside that thing, how different things work, then I won't be able to resolve actually. So I got into like depth, just became honest. I'm not going to apply until I know that I'm ready for this job. So I've made myself ready, that one person that they can't deny that, okay, we won't hire you. Because I would try to think as like I am interviewing someone. So what kind of a person would I want? So
Yeah.
I started becoming that person that they want to hire. And
Oh,
if I am the recruiter, I have a small business, what kind of person would I want for that job? So I started thinking about in layman terms that if I have this small organization, this kind of setup, 5 people. So just from the basics, I would go into the network setup and just see, okay, how does this connect and everything. So I just started working with the layman terms, and there's so much stuff on Google and Udemy, and there are a lot of different platforms that you can study. So just skill, just pack up yourself, just have
yeah.
everything even within you. Do not depend on anybody else. Nobody else can give you nothing.
And this all you did, like, you were in project management in India, and here you had to start from scratch. So that's
Yes.
amazing what you did out there. Shuchita, what about you? Like, when you got your first job, how did you land into IBM? I would say,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
how did you do this?
Look, my journey is nearly not as challenging as Nidhi and Praveena, but I mean, it had its own different set of challenges. So, I mean, because I studied in New Zealand, so I was very aware of the culture. You know, I was kind of raised there since I was very young, so I knew the lifestyle, the culture, and everything. But in saying that, though, the job market is still, as I said, it's a scary place. So we graduated from uni, and we all are, you know, and hunt for very similar jobs, like in computer and IT fields. And for me, again, like lots and lots of jobs I applied for. And I was like, oh, why won't they hire me? I mean, I have a degree in my hand, like it's good. My grades were not bad. It's like I had the internship, but they're always looking for more, right? So they have so many candidates coming to them, and we all have the same degree. We all have the same skill. We have the culture, but they want to know what else kind of sets you apart. So for me, what really helped me was my dad, because he was also in IT. So he pushed me to do some extra certifications on the side. He said, look, do something that's going to set you apart. So while I was studying for my degree, I did Oracle database certifications. And that was new for me. Never done database before that. And it really helped me learn a lot. And I think that's honestly what got me my job at IBM. So the interview process was intense. They went through the CV, and sure, I got through that. But the second stage was the psychometric, which was, I think, the most difficult one I've done compared to, trust me, I've done at least 30 psychometrics. This one was very challenging, very problem solving, like lots of like math and English questions in there. But then the last phase, which was actually interviewing with the managers, they asked me, they're like, oh, we got excited with your CV because you're the one we've seen actually who's got an Oracle certification. And we want someone in our database team. Like, we're looking for a new grad to join that team. So that was a big thing. That was a positive thing. I'll be honest, I was never into database. It was something I did just so I could get in the market, right? I could get like be a little bit set apart from everyone else. So yeah, I think that was me with my first job.
Yeah, but initially when you start your career, you never know what you would like, because
Yeah.
I think most of the people just know developer or BA. And
Yes,
then some people also know testing. But there's so much more to IT.
exactly.
Yeah, so I think when you did your database certification, see, taking your dad's advice, you didn't knew what will it be in there, right?
Exactly.
It's just when you started working in IBM, you got to know. And that's actually what I think he gave a very good advice, because we think that we did such a good degree, we got all the good scores, we did networking, and then we are eligible to get a job. But that's what your peers did. So finding out what we like more and doing a bit of more certification in that really
Yeah.
helps. So that's great. And um, job seeking isn't an easy task, I think, for anyone, even for people who are already looking like they are working, they have everything good, but still. And according to a LinkedIn survey of more than 1,000 Australians, 64% agreed that it impacted their mental health, and 33% said it weakened their confidence. So I would like to know now from you guys, what kept you motivated? Shochita, let's start from you. How did you kept yourself?
Yeah. Look, I'll be honest, right? There were highs and lows. So for me, I was applying for jobs when I was also studying. So I was applying for the next year. So I was still doing my last year of course, which was very full on, right? And then there were days you're just depressed. You just don't know. You're like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I've spent like 4 years and I've done all this stuff and I'm not getting any recognition and what's going on. But I think the key is to kind of focus on the goal, right? And I think Nidhi mentioned it quite nicely before. Just have that confidence in yourself. And when people don't give you the job or the call or the recruiter, you have to call them back. Like for me, also chasing them up was a big thing. I was pushy, I would say, maybe. And I was like, oh, good enough. Like, you rejected me, but like, do you have any feedback? And honestly, even a single line of feedback sometimes really helps you. So getting that feedback, trying to incorporate that in my next interview or CV was something which was helpful for me. Other than that, my motivation was like, I wanted to work in IT. I wanted to work in a computer engineering field as an engineer. That was like kind of always a goal for me. So that just kept me going. I was like, there has to be something at least. I was in New Zealand, applied for at least 15 jobs in Australia. That was a big goal for me always to move here. I think I did a few trips here for interviews on my own expense. It was pretty crazy at that time, but it was just you just try everything you can, right? That's to get where you want to. Yeah.
What about you, Praveena? What kept you motivated?
Yeah, actually, after all these things, I have a disappointment when I did not landed on jobs, even after having so many of experience and skills. So, however, I bounced back quickly by sharing my feelings with my husband, family, and friends. So, sharing something makes us lighter actually. And I was thinking, and later on, like think for the next plans. So, I used to read some articles and watching motivated videos and movies to keep myself positive. So, and I also worked on my strengths and weakness, and worked on both of them to make myself better. So I banged on my strength and put on some extra efforts on my weaknesses. So, and I also compared myself how I face bigger challenges than this and come over and kept me motivated every time. As like Suchitra says that, yeah, it is like a IT job. I need an IT job. I should not move on from the this field. So that makes me more motivation. And I felt like not having a local experience is not a skill I can build. It is an external factor that I cannot control. So I just stopped worrying about it and stay positive.
Okay. And what about you, Nidhi? What kept you motivated?
So starting, I was younger kid at the home and I got everything like pretty easily. As like my sister, I did not have to, okay, this percentage of marks and then you get it. So I was like easy go. And until in India, because once I had my son and then I said, I can't do technical. I will just go with project management. So I got in there. But after coming to Australia, I was in the same mindset. Oh, IT, it's like too much. Because the main issue was that I did not understand that IT is not a 9 to 5 job. If you feel that okay, you can just do 9 to 5 and just you are just doing a favor on the company, if you read 1 or 2 topics different to actually figure out the problem and problem solving, that was the mindset that I had to change when I came to Australia and then started with my, I did not get anything in project management. And then I said, okay, customer service. And then I got a good job in customer service after like a bit of things. And then I thought, yeah, I'll just settle down here. And then after some time, I got really bored of that customer service, the same queries, same everything. And then I was just discussing with my husband that I want to stay financially independent. But at the same time, with these customer service jobs, I don't stand out. Like everybody in the customer service has same skills, same everything. So it just depends on your day. Some recruiter might like you that particular day, something might be special that particular day. And then once you get the job, you get bored after some time, and then you want to have a higher paying job. And so I was thinking I'll do something in hospitality or some social work or something. And then my husband told me, okay, you spent 4 years of your degree, you spend that much money doing that degree, and now you want to do something else like hospitality or social work. Do you think it's going to be easy? All the jobs that you find on Seek, the number of jobs for hospitality or for social work, not everybody gets that job. It's like the same jobs that you find for IT, and you feel, oh, there are 50 jobs. But if you apply for that, you don't find that, you don't get that. So it's going to be the same struggle. You'll have to start from zero. You'll have to first complete 4 years of degree and then starting from zero and then building your way up. So you already have an IT degree. And in Australia, degree values, not like India, where everybody is a software like IT graduate. So I thought like, really, yes, that is the thing, that I will have to start from zero everywhere. And I will have to compete with other people skilled in that particular field. So IT, I already have a degree. I have some experience from India. And why can't I be a technical person when my husband can earn that much money? What do I lack myself? And then I started building on myself, like, if anybody else can, why can't I? And the issue was that I was telling myself that I'm not technical. It was me, nobody else holding me back. So since that time, I've
Yes.
changed that feeling that I can learn anything that I want to. I can do anything that I want to. I can be financially independent. It's not that females earn less than men. Since then, my mindset has totally changed. Every time I see something, I say, why can't I learn it? I can learn Japanese, I can learn this, that, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And I'm like, now I'm giving my exams for cloud certification. And then I've thought about I'm going to do PowerShell and then something else. And one day my husband was saying, oh, you are so creative, do something in creative field. Why don't you learn like interior designing or something? And I said, I have whole life to do it. I'll do it later as well. So the whole life is now open to me since the time I've understood that we can learn, and build up. And that gives us that confidence that if anybody can be president, I can be as well.
Wow, that's great. So, still, I mean, like, still that's good. But what steps you took? Because now you started with customer service, and now you came back to IT. So, to get yourself that confidence, or you said that you told yourself you can do it. So, how did you do it? What steps you took to learn about system administration and support work?
I started with looking out for resumes in Indeed. Okay, for system admin, for this to this years of experience, what have this person written on in their resume, and then I will search that term and I will build up my knowledge on that. And then slowly things started building. Okay, what is that role? What is a system admin role? What does that person do? What things? Then I started building in my mind, okay, if I have a small organization, if I have 5 people, they need to have an email conversation. So within the organization, how the email is going to work, how the file system is going to work, how they're going to communicate to each other. So these things, after checking the resumes and the terms, then you start to understand and realize what is that particular role, what is the responsibility of this person. And then you build your knowledge, and you just through Google and through different portals, once you want to learn, there are so many ways.
Yeah, true. What about you, Praveena? So you got that 6-month contract. How did you come to NAB as a SAP consultant? How did that transfer happen?
Yeah. After completing my initial contract with the Melbourne Health Department, I was again back to job market and was started searching for the next opportunities. So, and this time it was a different challenge. So, having the 6 months local experience for the role which I am applying was not able to bring my any confidence to the recruiters, and adding to it uh, at the time it was a pandemic situation. So, without losing hopes, I have kept my profile active and updated in all the portals like Seek, LinkedIn, and one fine day, and I received a call from the NAP for an available position, and they were shortlisted me, and it was a video conference, and I worked myself on how to present myself better, and it was very good experience interactive, and again I confidently presented my strengths, experience, and the challenges, and I have overcome the interview, and the previous experience has taught me a lesson that how I need to be worked on those things.
So your contract helped you to
Yeah,
clear the NAB interview as well.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And even like nowadays it was a video conference is happening for the interviews and everything, and even not only the face to face but also in the video calls we have to present ourselves with a professional way, so that the first impression is the best impression, so that makes us more confident, even us as well as the recruiter.
yeah. That's true. Shuchita, you were in IBM database and now you are in Microsoft as a cloud solutions architect. Such a heavy title. How did you do this magic?
Yeah, I wish it was magic. But yeah, there was a few things. Of course, like look, as I said, I started as a DBA, which was very good for me, good learning. But very early on, I knew that's not something I want to be forever. It got boring very fast for me personally, and I knew I wanted to be an architect. So if you actually go talk to anyone in IBM, I think like I told every single person that in IBM Auckland, and what helped me to get from database to DevOps to cloud was just a lot of networking and just having my goals very clear, which I think after my first year at IBM, I knew, as I said. So I was like, I want to be an architect. And I was trying to research, there's so many types of architect, there's network, security, general, enterprise, like where did I want to be? So I'm just trying to figure it out. And at the same time, I talked to as many people as I could. I told my manager, like, look, I'm loving this role, but like eventually I want to move a little bit into cloud space and architecture. And he helped me make some other contacts with other managers and so on. But in doing all that, I had a lot of very, very good mentors along the way. So I got an architect who was working at IBM, and he was very helpful. He's like, look, these are the things you should do, study a little bit this, you need some soft skills, some technical skills, and always help me. And just by making myself, I think, like aware, just by making sure everyone knew where I want to be, but at the same time also doing my best in my job, right? So people could just see. I don't have to tell them like, hey, I'm super good. They can say like, oh, hey, she managed to do this and good outcomes, customers happy, so she must be good if she's in other teams, right? So that was a really big thing. So I did get a job at within IBM in private cloud, which was very different to what I envisioned. I wanted to be more public cloud and stuff. But again, I didn't stop. I took the opportunity. There wasn't much pay rise at all or anything. It was more just for my learning, right? I learned so much. I learned about the private cloud, learned about how virtualization is working, a whole new side compared to database. And I think because of my skills I had specific to IBM products, it became a big thing that there was like a massive project happening in Sydney with IBM and Westpac in Sydney. And they kind of picked me from Auckland to come help because they said, we don't have many people with skills in this. Like no one actually knows this. So that was very exciting how it happened. But at the same time, I think a big challenge was just big sacrifice to family life because I was traveling back and forth from Auckland to Sydney for like 1 year. So I would leave every morning, Monday morning, early flight, and then I'd come back every Friday night. So weekends were just relaxing and packing up for next week. So it was nothing much. But again, lots of learning, lots of other great people, lots of mentors, and just talking to people, right? Like as much as I could. And that really helped me land my next job, which was actually in Melbourne in the DevOps field. And that really helped me kind of start me on the path to public cloud. And in that as well, yeah, networking was important.
So, and then what about Microsoft? One fine day you applied to Microsoft and you got the call.
Oh, of course, you know how it is. But no, I really wish, right? So Microsoft's been also like a big thing in my mind because I have one of my best friends been working there for a while, and you hear good things about a company and the culture, and you're kind of like, hey, that would be interesting to be there. So I think it's been 2 years now. So I've only moved to Melbourne like 4 years ago, but 2 years ago I was like, okay, I really like this Microsoft role. I'm going to apply for it. So the same role, the one I'm in now, Cloud Solution Architect, I think I've applied for it at least 4 times. And obviously, clearly, I've been rejected 3 times because I only got it the last time. But in saying that, every time has been a good learning experience. I've managed to have like one chat. First, got rejected at the CV, your experience is not enough. Second time was like, hey, actually, I got through the first stage and I sucked at that interview. Honestly, I realized myself that I really need to learn more if I need to get into this role. So lots more studying and lots more feedback. Like I love the manager who gave me that feedback. I was very upset, but it was good feedback. It was like skills I need, things I need to work on, what I need to study, how I need to represent this to a customer and so on. So yeah, I think after 3 failed attempts and really helpful mentors and help along the way, I managed to get it. And in saying that though, so this job that I got took 3 months and it was 7 different interview rounds, very intense presentation, technical, oh, you name it. It was crazy. So it wasn't easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very brave of you to attend 7 interviews also, because
It was intense.
I mean, like, even till date, I have been to given myself, like in 12 years of IT experience, I have given so many interviews, but even till now, I'm like, oh, there's interview now, I have to study and go prepare. So it's always a
Crazy.
tough place. So
Yeah.
doesn't matter, we put a brave face or we just get scared, but it
And
is
these
tough.
days it doesn't help that it's all online. So again, it's about like being able to present yourself like this. So my interview process was last year in August, right? It's going on. And it's just so different because sometimes you have to be in the room and you need to have that body language and stuff. But then to be able to do that on video is another challenge in itself also.
Yeah, we are not trained for that, right? No, nobody's trained. It's very new for us. That's right. So I will say that all three of you, I mean, like, although you guys seem so successful, it's an ongoing journey for you also. But based on our target audience, you guys look very successful and where they would be very happy to reach. But it was not at all simple. I will say it was the opposite of simple for all three of you. So did you have a set routine during your job search? Did you do certain things, Shuchita? Maybe you can continue.
Uh, yeah, sure. For me as well, I think I would say, look, I kind of agree with what Nidhi said before as well, that when you're in IT, it's not a 9 to 5 job. You have to keep up with the market. For a big thing for me when looking for jobs is just trying to keep up to date and just trying to keep relevant. So you can't say like, hey, I did a certification 5 years ago. No one cares. That's expired. You need to keep up. You need to see what else is out there. Every day there's new releases and so on. You have to be on top of it. So honestly, my routine when I was looking for job or when I was applying for new jobs, just to see what's in the market, see the demand, see like, cool, this is my resume, this is what they're looking for, where are my gaps? And then try to fill on those gaps and continuously work towards that. I think that was my routine. And just making time to study with life is difficult, but you have to be very motivated. You just have to do it. You have to do it for yourself. Yeah.
That zeal to excel should stay.
Yes, for sure.
What about you, Praveena?
Yeah, actually, it is like it was very tough being at home and searching for jobs. So I can't do that the whole day. So I made myself a daily timetable to work on, and where morning hours go for the family, and later on I used to focus on my physique, like doing yoga, go for a walk, meditation, etc. And I started reading for few hours and watching some lecturers to enhance my skills and practice what I learned. And I have registered for trial versions as well, like in a Udemy, Scrum Alliance, and free trainings. So these things which I have made like a daily routine.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it actually helps, especially when you have full day and it's if you don't have a routine, like I always feel that if I don't have a routine, then I'm not in control and the day is just going by and then one more and one more and yeah, so it does help. I think that's what most of people realized during COVID because everybody started working from home. There's a blurred boundary between home and work. So yeah, a routine does surely help. And in your case, it kept you
Yeah.
so motivated. You did meditation also. Oh my God, I always want to do. But yeah. What about you, Nidhi? Did you also have a routine or study, study, study all the time?
Oh my God. I want to watch TV. I want to watch movies. I want to just lay in the bed and I want to just go for walks or in the park, but I have to study. And that is like you have to make that choice. Oh my God. I just want to keep scrolling on the Facebook, being in the bed. but it's like what do you want? Then I get frustrated. Oh my God, I haven't done this. I have by this time I have to finish this. I have this thing to complete. And yes, that the motivation is like you don't want to, you want to reach somewhere. You enjoy that technical learning. You enjoy that technical work that you want to do. You love that feeling of like, yes, when you raise your hand for a project, you want to do that project, but when you have to do a lot of research and study about that project after your 9 to 5 job, then you, why did I even sign up for this? But now you have like this is the same story that goes every time you feel, oh, I'm in a comfort zone, but then you get bored, you want to do something really nice and tempting, and then you sign up for that, and then you don't want to do it, you want to lay in bed, watch TVs, but at the back of your mind you have to complete that task. And that goes on and on. So that gives me motivation that every long weekend I plan for extra study. Every weekend I have to do something to stay updated, to get to know what's in the market. So I do want to just enjoy my weekends, but I can't, because if I don't satisfy my technical zeal, then I'm not happy. So that's the balance I have to make for my own happiness.
Okay, so that's great that like you're always keeping. So something coming up for Easter holidays, or this time you're gonna lay in bed and watch TV?
Nana, I have things in my mind, because on 29th I have my cloud admin exam, and then I have to do Ignite challenge to get a free voucher for next Microsoft PowerShell exam that I want to give. So things in pipeline, and I keep, because now my family said that, oh, they want to do something in the next weeks, and I said, no, you can't call anybody. I have my exam on 29, so before that, nothing. So I have
Yeah,
to study more than my son.
yeah, me and my husband also, we are both IT people, so we plan our certifications together, because we know if one is studying, other can't do anything much. I mean, like, because it's like 1 or 2 months booked already. So yeah, we usually plan like this. Oh, I'm going to do this certification. If you want to do something also, I'm just telling you. So yeah, we can't binge watch Netflix then.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, thank you guys. This was really inspiring. I mean, like your journey. But this is why I arranged this session, because when I heard you, I just thought that, wow, you have done so much efforts. I get a lot of calls for people asking how to get back to IT, what to do in terms of what steps should they take, where should they come back. They are not getting calls, they are not getting local references, where to go out, what are the wallets. So it's like I thought that you guys have gone through all those barriers, you guys have cleared all those barriers, and hearing from you firsthand would help them more than like me telling them. So what I believe are the key takeaways are, you guys all, for your focus that you want to come back to IT, and you were determined that you can get the job. I mean, there's no second choice, there's no plan B. You really reached out to people, you talked to people. It could be sharing your disappointments, it could be sharing your wishes, what you want to do, but you reach out to people in your office and in your personal life, and you are still keeping yourself upskilling, like whatever is latest coming, taking out time, and you guys have some sort of routine. And of course you had a mentor who can guide you. Actually, a lot of people wish for mentors, but very few people have. So a mentor could be anyone. It could be family, it could be friend, it could be a colleague, it could be a formal person, but having a mentor really helps, who can help you. It's like a third person who is seeing your professional journey and guiding you. So thank you for that. I just wanted to ask one more thing. There were some questions, some registrations. During the registration, some people asked questions. We have Kamaldeep with us now. Kamaldeep, do you have any question?
Hello, Isha. My name is Harneet. Actually, I'm using Zoom of my husband.
Okay, sorry.
That's
Hi.
okay. Actually, you covered everything as a moderator, and thanks to you for organizing such a wonderful session before. And this session was actually awesome. You covered everything, and listening to stories of all these three women, superwomen, have motivated me to work more and put on more effort in my journey of landing a job here in Australia. So thank you all. Really, it helped me a lot of where I need to put on more focus now.
Glad,
How
honey, glad. So let's try to cover the questions. So it's already 1 hour. If any one of you want to leave because of any prior commitment, feel free to. I'm just now covering some of the questions with people asked during registration. Um, so there's one particular question, how do you handle awkward or sexist remarks in interview? Because most of our target audience are females. So, and we have in industry some mindset related to females coming out and working. So if somebody is given some negative or some sexist remark in an interview, how should we handle it?
Um, let me take that one. So, unfortunately, I have experienced that in an interview. This happened to me when I was applying for, my grad jobs, and it was it was a huge company actually. I won't mention whatever, but so what it was just a couple of guys interviewing, and it was just the questions and just the tone. It was just a bit sexist, right? It was just the fact, because think about it, anyone goes to an interview, they're dressed formally, right? That's different. And I was applying for like an electronics job at that time, and they're making jokes like, oh, how will you survive if your nail breaks, or like, oh, how will you work in heels? And I was a little bit shocked, to be honest. I wasn't prepared to listen to that. And it was a bit awkward. And I was like, well, in my mind, I'm like, obviously, I'm not going to wear heels to a side, you stupid person. But you don't say that in an interview. So I would look, honestly, it's difficult, but I would recommend that with the sexual awkward remarks, you just shut them down and you walk away, and you can be like, oh, I don't think that's an appropriate question. So I will just leave that. And if it's getting worse, just walk away from the interview, and best to just talk to an HR person after, say, hey, look, I experienced this and I don't think anyone else should go through the same thing. And this was 10 years ago, and I think, look, the place is changing. I hope it's not happening anymore, or any of these things. Yeah.
Yeah, but these things do happen. Although it's 21st century, and sometimes people are not showing in their tone, but it's still in their mind. So it does happen. I think if they are bold enough to show something like this, like Shuchita said, you should report to HR. But if you feel that it's not being said aloud, but you can sense, if it's happening in a workplace, I think, like, go bolder. Like, if it's somebody thinks that you are not fit for the job, we are all professional, just study more and prove it to them by doing the great job that you are fit, and that's the best answer. So, you don't need to say it by your words, but do it by your actions. Come back and hit them harder with your work. Thanks, Shuchita. Yes.
I do have to run. Sorry, I really do have to leave. Thank you so much for organizing this, Isha.
Sure. Thanks, Shuchita, for joining.
For everyone for listening.
No
as well.
worries.
Thank you, Suchita.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Moving on to the next
Isha,
question.
Isha, I can add something if you have
Yes,
time.
sure.
Just that in my first job, I was just out of college, and I felt that I was kind of a bit childish, like normal, like general. But I started feeling that hint that people just try to crack jokes on me and just take me lightly, and they feel that, yeah, they can joke around me. And that actually hit me, because I was just normal, a bit innocent, and I felt that I was being taken for granted. So I thought there is something that I can do rather than making like a complaint or something. Like, that's just my personal, because I would go to a complaint panel if that thing doesn't change, but I thought I have the power within me to make them change their mindset towards me. So I did a bit of research about the body language, and to make myself stand out that I'm a no nonsense person, I won't tolerate things. So I did a bit of research about the body language, how I can present myself as a nonsense person who's not going to take it. So that helped me, rather than going through, like, I felt that, okay, let me just see first what I can do. But I would certainly say that if because not everywhere people are the same. Some people could be really see in their mind. So yeah, do go to your HRs and do
Yeah,
try out.
I think with Shuchita, it was a different scenario. It was a formal interview round and not her
Yeah.
colleagues or friends. So yes, if there are just colleagues and you know it may be a harmless remark. So of course, then there's no need to. You can just confront the person and say it's a bad joke and I didn't like it. You can say something directly and make sure that they know you didn't take it nicely.
Yeah, and even in the interview, just with that body language skills that I learned, that even in interview when you present yourself, that you're not going to hear anything XYZ. So it may, that's what I said,
Right.
that some people could be really, I don't know what to say the word, that deep. Some people will
Stubborn.
be what
Yeah.
they are pretty stubborn, they will just try to harass you, but some people would get that indication that you're not going to tolerate it. So depends if that is something that that can help you build up that confidence to say, oh, hello, I'm not going to just convey that through your body language. That could be a thing.
That's good advice, Nidhi. Our second question is, does volunteer work help? And if yes, where do I find it?
Yeah, I will take up this one. Yeah, in Seeks and other job portals, we will give like a lot of volunteering opportunities, and like however we can focus on your local community events within your councils and make a lot of networks as well. In Epping Plaza, there is one Vitalcy volunteering is there, so we have to go there and register so that whenever the volunteering program will be going on, they will going to send an email or call us, so that will make as a add an experience for us. I did that one in the before, like when I was started searching for the job.
Sorry, I missed. Where is that?
It's in Epping Plaza, and I will share the details later on.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have to go and register. It happens only on Wednesday and
Okay.
Thursday, I think so. So we have to go and meet up the person, volunteer person, and we have to register, and we have to tell them what kind of volunteering we are looking for. And so whenever they have then availability, they will call us or mail us, so that we can go and like 1 or 2 hours we can spend as a volunteer, and we get those kind of experiences will add on.
Okay, so they have IT jobs as well.
uh, I'm not sure, before it was there, but
But
now
now,
I'm not sure. Yeah, it was like
yeah, and that's good. I will be emailing these question list to all the people who registered, so you can share that with me. Along with that, I will also send a list of volunteer sites which I found, and it's always helpful. And I think apart from those, it's always good to know the programs that are helping, like contacting somebody like me. There are a lot of people like women who code, girls in tech, STEM sisters. It's better to ask them, and because they have more resources, and they can actually directly get you some IT volunteer job, because doing any other job will get you local references, but it's good to have something related to the field that we are looking for job also.
exactly. Adding to this, I was a part of a STEM sister as well, before I get into a job, and I have attended hackathons and meetups. So here I can add, like you can register for the freelancer as well and volunteer there. And
Hmm.
meetups, hackathons are the free, and
Yeah.
they are like welcoming. You can get an opportunity to showcase your skills and presence. So those are very important network events. So I have done when like my husband is working for Infosys, and the Infosys and the Australian government, they were the sponsoring for these actions, and I met up people there, and I got lot of network. So whenever there is an event, I can share the details with you, so that whoever are interested, they can register for those things.
Yes, that's great. Um, how to answer gap in career? Because you and Nidhi both had a IT gap. So in the interview, you must have been asked this question, like, and I think for Nidhi, it was a gap and it was a change of career also, because for her, she came from management and then into customer service and then into IT. So how do we handle this gap?
Um, Give a detailed uh, um, study in detail the job description and try to relate the gap with, say, your skills that you have acquired during that time. It could be, okay, I was managing my family because of a small child, so you can just say that I've learned so much about time management, about eye to detail during this time, because even managing your house is not an easy task. So keeping my financial budgets on schedule and keeping my own mental health, or just try to relate it with the job that you're going to do. That's majorly the time management, the financial management, these things, and how you manage everything, like with the detailed view. So these things you can just add in, that if it is the gap because of your family not working, but if it is because of, like, say, I did customer service, so I would say that it's giving me more confidence how to problem solve with the customer, because actually in every business you have a customer and you are providing a solution, be it IT or something. So just focus on the skills, because normally the problem here is that you just feel that, oh, I'm doing this job, everybody does this job, what's special? So try to find out what is the special thing. Google, there are a lot of things that you can say that, if you have been managing your house, if you have been a housewife, or then what kind of skills you acquire that you can show in your resume. So a lot of management things you can show.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
want to
Veena,
add
yes, you
one
want
more
to add?
point here. So like whenever the interviewer asks about the gap here, not only about supporting a family, they will mostly look into what you have done apart from your upgrading your skills and any certifications, or what you have done. So most of the things, we need to fill up the gap, as Nidhi says that, yeah, try to do some certifications. There is a chance you got it, and upgrade your skills and do some training, so it will give a value add to your resume and your career as well.
So yes, you handle the gap by compensating it with our courses and new knowledge which we.
Just telling family supporting means recruiters, they won't accept it. This is that it's a common thing, every woman will do a family support. So they were mostly concentrating like on the experience and how you fill those gaps. And yeah, so
It gives actually the seriousness, because even the interviewers know and might have faced that sometimes it, like in the beginning, I'm say it might have happened like they are giving opportunity to these females because they understand, but because the females themselves, we are divided, it's hard to leave family and come back to work, and then if the last minute we bail out, it's bad for everyone. So when we put in efforts to upskill and do certification, we are proving them that we are serious to get back as well. And of course there's so much competition these days that it's actually now it's like mandatory more than a choice. This one is for volunteer work again. So on Seek and Indeed, even for volunteer work, they ask for lots of experience.
yeah, as I said earlier, hackathons and meetups will give a lot of experience, and even as a STEM sisters. So based upon that local experience, they will going to give a certification as well for the volunteer work we have done, and based upon that, we can apply in a Seek and Indeed. Even in LinkedIn, we have some volunteer programs are going on. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. As a postgrad student in information systems, I'm on my path to getting back to IT, where my previous experiences were on marketing. I would like to ask the panelists about what would be the right certifications or domain to choose for someone like me who is trying to get back to IT?
For this one, I would suggest do a thorough research of your circumstances, your interest, your maybe people who are aware of those particular domains, maybe your husband or somebody around that can give you a bit of actually an understanding of what that role is. So try to find out what you find interested in. And for that, you are the best judge of yourself. You'll have to do a bit of research of which field is easier for you. As like when I was looking for IT jobs, I thought, okay, if I get a job in a school, then I can meet 9 to 5, 8 to 3 or something. So it depends on you what kind of job you want to fit in terms of the environmental factors. And then you will have to build up like development. If you are interested in coding, if you are interested in say infrastructure things, how if you are interested in support, if you are interested in like SAP or different things. So this is something that you will have to build up by research. You will have to spend days and days to actually figure out. IT is a big world. It's like same, you want to be a dentist, you want to be a skin expert, you want to be a orthopedic surgeon or things like that. So IT is the same. You have to understand what you want to learn, what your acquaintances are, where you want to reach. So this is something that you will have to figure out, and based on that, the certifications as well, you will have to do a lot of research to understand what certifications you want and what benefit will they give you. And it's the knowledge that you get from that certification. I'm 100% sure that yes, the resume, if you put in that certification in your resume, it does put a weight on your resume, but to crack the interview, it's the knowledge. So
Yeah.
you will have to figure out what you want.
Do you want to add something, Praveena?
Yeah, the same thing what Nidhi has said. Yes, you have to choose which way you have to go first, plan accordingly, and work on those strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. I would like to add that when Nidhi says research, even Praveena said same. So in your research, first see what are the trending technologies, what are the upcoming technologies for 2021, and try to go for them, because there's a lot of skill gap. You guys might have read the skill gap blogs also. So there is a high demand in IT and there is a high supply of IT, but the skill set is mismatching. So if you're starting new, even though you're coming after a break, if there is a high demand of something, of course there are chances that they'll hire you based on just your knowledge and not experience, because they really need people. It could be only with knowledge. So we hear terms like machine learning, cloud, data, and I don't know, maybe we get scared or something. What feelings come up? Um, just digging into them before deciding it's not your cup of tea. Everything related to these new buzzwords, it's not coding. If you are into coding, that's good. But if you are not into coding, first dig deeper. There's a lot of in data. When we say data, we have data engineer, we have data scientist, we have database administrator, we have data analytics, we have BI. So we have a lot of other positions. Same way in cloud, same way in machine learning. So do a bit of more research before saying, because if you go in these upcoming technologies, there are high chances of you staying, and then otherwise later you will need to do this career change, and career change is always tough. Even if you have a lot of experience, it is tough, because it will get more tougher, like in coming years. So it's better to start with something which you see your future in. Any reliable training place or internship in Sydney? So I think the AMEP program, which is for English plus internship, is which Nidhi said is in. She did it in Sydney, right, Nidhi?
Yeah, it's in Melbourne as well, but it's more of like culture build up, how you present yourself. It's not the technical IT skills,
Yeah.
but just just go and reach out to them, and there might be something now, because I did it 5 years ago. So there might be something now. And as you mentioned, the new words, the cloud, in artificial intelligence, and like a lot of different things in data, I would say it's easier to get in there, because these are the new things. People don't have skills with these,
Yeah.
and with these new things, they have the full trainings that you can find on even YouTube, the full start to end. If because I have experienced the issue that, okay, I know this thing, but what comes next? What's this? What's that? So there, on YouTube as well. So for cloud, say for data scientists, say for security cloud, you would have the full standard trainings on YouTube, which are really good. If I have purchased some on YouTube, Udemy and plural sites, but I found even the YouTube are better,
Yeah, they are
which are
free and they
free.
are good. It is actually enough to get the interest develop, like just to see if you're really interested to do a bit more, before buying spending money. And for internships, again, I'll send some links which I have. I know about AI internship into the clouds, and there are a few more which I got to know from other uni students who are doing internships. So I will put that in the email, which I will reply for the Q&A later. So there's one more question. I have a long career gap in IT. In IT, can I still get here job? So of course, a lot of females, it's not just Nidhi and Praveena, there are a lot of females who have come back to IT successfully. So the answer is yes. And the detailed answer was throughout this session. Last question for this. Entering IT after break of couple of years, which field of IT would you suggest? I think it's just a repeat question. We have already answered. Yeah. So with this, I think we can end the session. So I'll put the recording on YouTube, and thank you guys for joining Saturday morning. But I mean, like, you guys are working, so I just thought that Saturday might be the best time for you to be relieved and just, give some mentorship tips.
Thanks, Isha, for the
Thank you,
opportunity.
Isha.
So,
And I will say, just feel free to reach out to me. Anybody can reach out to me. If I can add a bit of value to anybody's job hunt, I'll be super happy.
Yeah, I will share Nidhi's email. Nidhi, is your email okay? I'll
Um,
share. Yes.
yeah, any way of communicating to me, either on Facebook, Messenger, I'm happy to help.
Okay. Thanks, Nidhi.
So much.
thanks, Isha. Yeah, you can share my email ID as well, so they can reach out me at any time. So I'm ready to mentor them or help them in their career.
Okay, sure, Praveena. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a lovely weekend.
Okay.
You too.
Have a lovely weekend. Thank you so much.
I think